Welcome again to another episode from Elite Legions. Let me tell you a few things no one else will tell you about this unit. For starters, they counter all cavalry with well-timed skills. Shocked? Yeah, I know. I still have so many things that will shock you as well. So let's go over the cavalry one by one really quickly before moving to the next point, starting with the dagger axe versus the Zealots. Yes, the Zealots can easily counter the charge and the cover commander using their skills. And yes, both skills for the Zealots work. The only difference between both of them is the timing. In my opinion, it's a lot easier to time the skill number 1 than to time the skill number 2. And before I continue, if you are watching this video like 1 month or 2 months after its release date, just know this will probably be fixed or changed by then. Anyways, so let's set up some concepts to make things easier and faster throughout the video. There are 3 types of trades. A positive trade, where your unit will lose some but still win the fight or completely annihilate the enemy. A negative trade, where you will lose units more than your opponent. And a neutral trade, where both of you will lose equally. Okay? So if any cavalry charges the Zealots will have a positive, meaning they might even annihilate the charging cavalry while only losing few soldiers. It doesn't matter at all what is the charging cavalry, they are all the same. From Cavaliers to Hussars, everything is the same, and all will get annihilated pretty fast. So, putting the Lancer cavalry aside, let's talk about the special cavalry. For example, if you go with the Alexander cavalry, you do have a chance for a swift takedown on the Zealots if you can manage to land the skill number 2 before the Zealots react to you. But never ever go with the skill number 1, because you will just make them alert to your existence and you will 100% lose the fight. Also keep in mind, he might trick you into using the skill number 2 if he could react to it. Your Alexander cavalry are doomed. It's just a simple GG for him. From my time experiencing with the unit, the only cavalry that did trade positively with the Zealots were the NEWSEASON, where they will unleash their strike 4 times, which makes it really hard for the Zealots hero to anticipate the strikes. Especially with the second strike of the NEWSEASON being unpredictable, because I can unleash it at 10%, 20%, 100% charge, it doesn't matter. As a NEWSEASON user, I control the timing of the skill, so it's really hard for the Zealots hero to anticipate when I will make my move. Oh, and one very important note here, the best formation for the Zealots to stand against cavalry is the square formation. It's the F1, okay? It simply gives them a wider area to stop more cavalry. So now a quick question is, why does this even happen? Well, the unit almost gets some iframes or invincibility frames while initiating their skills. Of course, keep in mind that this only applies to the unit after the Zealots have been transformed. Okay? Zealots before transforming are really fragile and weak. Now let's move to the second shocking fact, which is you cannot defeat the Zealots with poison arrows. Why? Because they heal with every single block. Full ammo from the Radan Rangers is not enough to take them down. Yes, it will surely reduce the HP of the Zealots to being red, for example, but it will never defeat them. Like you need another unit to help you defeating them. Tip number 3. Zealots are very versatile, and you can either build them as a full defense or full offense or a hybrid between both. And by saying hybrid, I'm not saying to go half top veterancy and half bottom veterancy. No, what I'm saying is you can go offensive veterancy line with defensive doctrines instead of going both offensive and so on. Hope you get what I mean. So when it comes to the build, the veterancy and the doctrines, for me personally I would go with the hybrid builds or the full offensive build. Meaning I would go with the top line in the veterancy tree plus offensive doctrine. This is the full offensive build. If you want the hybrid, it will be top line with defensive doctrines. Okay? Just remember, this build needs you to think before engaging, because the normal version, the non-transformed version of the Zealots is still weak. If you go against a very strong opponent or so many shields, they will suffer, since you cannot transform mid-battle using offensive build. You will probably die. And for people who just wanna go full stupid, there is an untested build that theoretically should work just fine in normal daily siege, which is going full defensive, meaning you will pick the bottom line and equip full defensive doctrines. This way you will be able to turn mid-fight, even if you're hugging some shield units like sergeants for example. It will be just fine, you will not even take damage from them. This build completely eliminates the need for strategic thinking before engaging. You will just go all stupid, all in with the unit, just slam them into the enemy shield and turn mid-fight or transform mid-fight. It's totally fine. However, keep in mind that it will take you forever to eliminate a shield unit, because your damage will be pretty low. Now let's talk about the unit more in its speciality, for its ability to defeat anything with shields, okay, and underline anything. So Zealots, as of now, as of today, the 5th of October, in the live server, Zealots deal CC shock effect on hit. Meaning, when they hit a target or a unit, especially a unit by the way, because this is not applied to heroes, units cannot react or retaliate unless the unit has some sort of CC immunity. This is a very similar effect to that of the Iron Reapers, if you know what I mean, where the Iron Reapers might cancel the hit or the skill of the hero because of the staggering effect on hit they have. Zealots are pretty much the same, but the effect is not applied to heroes, it's only applied to units. So, for example, Zealots versus Stalwarts, only the third row of the Stalwarts will be able to move and hit the Zealots, but the first two rows will be CC'd by the head shock effect I just mentioned, reducing the overall damage you take when you engage the Stalwarts to almost 1/4. And it becomes even more clear versus the maidens. As you can see, my maidens could not even initiate an attack on the Zealots. Surprisingly, the effect of the shock hit of the Zealots is even stronger on units than that of the Iron Reapers, where versus the ranging guards, for example, only the last skill was initiated, keeping in mind that all 4 skills for the Varangian gods are supposedly CC immune. But guess what? The first 3 did not even initiate, only the 4th hit. Somehow, for some reason, the CC immunity on the first 3 skills for the Varangian guards are simply negated versus the Zealots. So in the end, we can all clearly see the problem here. This unit is only countered by ranged units, or javelin, since they counter both shields and cavalry, making them one of the best units to be ever introduced in the game as of tier 4. So as we all did see, here is a quick summary for you. Rule number 1, your unit is so weak and fragile in their normal form before transforming, so pick your target carefully. Rule number 2, never start stacking the rage on a strong unit like Spartans or Maidens. Rule number 3, your unit can withstand any cavalry charge, so stand your ground. And that was it. Hope you did learn something today, and see you soon in the battlefield, warlords.